So Stephen, you were a, if you like, typical CA only a few years ago, working with owner-managed businesses and providing year-end financial statements and tax services, right? Today, you're doing something rather different. Could you first explain what it is that you do today, and then why you made that change?
I'd love to. Today, I'd use the language, today I'm providing CFO and business advisory services to owner-operated businesses. I've also marketed myself and been marketing myself as an external CFO to owner-operated businesses. Why I made the change? Wow. I made the change for a couple reasons. One, you know what, Steve? I just became really disenchanted with the compliance service business. I actually really started to hate what I was doing. I wasn't having any fun. And more importantly, I recognized that my clients needed more from me and wanted more from me. I got tired of the glazed looks and the yawns and the blank stares when I was discussing financial statements, and it really turned me off, and I realized that I had to do something different. And furthermore, I was really frustrated with having this array of knowledge and information in my head from the experiences that I've been through, but never having the forum to use it, to teach with it, and to let my clients and prospective clients benefit from it. So my service mix today really allows me to have fun doing what I'm doing and to use my vast knowledge base and to let the ultimate business owner benefit from my experiences.
Once you decided that you had to do something to save your sanity, how did you go about deciding what to do? After all, there are no sort of off-the-shelf products for frustrated CAs. You must have tried a number of different things before settling on what you have now. Tell me more about that.
It's been a journey, and it still is a journey. When I really decided that it was time to further myself in my profession, I got some advice from a consultant in the legal profession, a relative of mine, to immerse myself in some self-study, learn everything I could about professional services, from selling to marketing to understanding what clients want and expect. And I put myself through what I call my self-MBA program. Once I had enhanced my knowledge base and changed my knowledge base, then it was time to test some stuff. Going back, I think it was 10 years ago, I moved on to trying to develop a program, an alliance of professionals in what was called the New Business Clinic, where we would service business startups. It failed miserably. Looking back, it was fun, but it just didn't work. From there, I recognized, though, that I was on the right path, but I may had to take a little bit of a detour, and I landed upon a model where I was going to become the part-time controller slash CFO, and my service mix changed to becoming, I would say, a controllership, a type of environment, but that wasn't quite right. I didn't do that for long because it wasn't feeling right. And ultimately I landed on the role of a business advisor and just imparting my knowledge base on business owners and helping them build their businesses and run their businesses. And so it became the external CFO role. So in my role today with my, I'm going to call it my favorite clients, my best relationships, I have nothing to do with preparing financial statements. My clients have internal accountants. So my role with the financial information is interpreting, teaching, and helping make decisions on a proactive basis. There's analysis work. I mean, it's not all it's not all the fun stuff. There is analysis, and my clients will look to me to figure out what their numbers mean and to give them, impart my perspective, shall we say. There's a lot of strategic work. There's a lot of big picture work. We sit back and we go, so John, where are you going and how are you going to get there? And where are you today? And where do we have to, what bridges do we have to cross to get there in order for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve? Does that sort of make sense? Another way of describing my role would be I help my clients understand the link or the connection between what they do day to day in their operations and their expected financial results. And that if they do this, they may get this. But if they do this, they may get this. And often I find that my clients don't understand the financial impact of their decisions before or in advance of making those decisions. And they need to.
How difficult was it to start, if you like, selling a new service to the marketplace?
Wow. The biggest challenge was overcoming the mindset that that I didn't know how. And once I had, I guess, developed confidence of the theory of selling, it was a matter of getting enough courage to try it. And I found that once I tried it once and twice, or once, twice, 3 times, it became fun. It was invigorating, actually.
How important would you say it was to test things before jumping in?
To test new things. There's a saying, I don't know if there's a saying that I, or maybe it's my saying, it's ready, fire, aim. Testing. I think one of my weaknesses is being a perfectionist, and it's held me back at times. I think there's a lot of validity in testing, but you can test yourself into stagnation, into doing nothing. So yes, plan, test, but don't wait for it to be perfect, because you know what? It never will be.
What major mistakes did you make along your journey?
One big one, and that is being a perfectionist. It'll never be perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect. And if you are expecting it to be perfect, where that will come from is just by doing it. So practice, practice, practice makes perfect. And so my biggest mistake was expecting perfection right out of the get-go and waiting on certain things where I thought it was perfect.
Did you have anything like a support system in place? People that you could talk to along the journey? And if so, did that help? And if so, how?
Yeah, I'm a big, big, big believer in support system. Early on in my journey, I recognized that I wanted help and needed help. And so I sought out, I think you were the first guy that I sought out and probably like to lean on your shoulders, maybe more than you like me to have me lean on your shoulders. And then when you weren't around, or I felt that I was becoming too big a burden, I would always try and solicit responses and opinions from friends whose opinion I valued. That had its problems, because if someone doesn't have a vested interest in the business, you have to sort of be cautious of what they're telling you. And I also would use my better clients and ask them opinions and get their input, not as just as people whose opinions I respected as a business person. And so support is key, and getting support it's invaluable. I can't speak enough about it.
If you could change just one thing that you did, or refrain from doing one thing that you didn't do along the journey, what would it be and why?
Great question. Simple answer. It would be fire those clients that you don't want way sooner. Don't let them hang on. Those relationships that impair your ability to perform at your peak for whatever reason, you need to let go, and you need those clients to let go. And so that would be my advice.
What advice would you give to someone who's now in a similar mindset, if you like, or similar situation to that you were in just a few years ago? What sort of advice would you give them?
It's easy for me to say this, but I honestly believe it, and that is, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not that difficult, and the rewards from the perspective of enjoyment and fun are huge. So just go do it.
So what made you get involved with the Business Mentors Network?
So Steve, that's a great question, and the answer may be somewhat lengthy. I'll try and keep it short. But several years ago, when you mentioned this idea to me, I realized that it was something that I really liked the idea, maybe to be a participant in some way. As time has gone on, I've recognized that one of my challenges has been to educate my prospective client and my clients that as an accountant, I'm not just the historical guy. Geez, I didn't know accountants could do that. I didn't know accountants should do that. And so I believe, and I wish more CAs would venture outside their comfort zone and the tradition of the program to help business owners. Because you know what? Business owners need help and deserve help. And therefore, if I can help people see this, help members see this and do this, you know, it's just a better thing for the accounting community. And you know, there is a little bit of selfishness, is that the more aware business owners are that these services are available, you know, I may be somewhat of a benefactor as well. There's this expectation gap, effectively, that business owners sort of expect help. The CA has, you know, the traditional CA really has no thought that they're going to provide this help. There's an unspoken gap. And you know, I've tried to address this gap over the years by doing what I do, but really, I believe that as a CA, that my colleagues can provide more value to their clients very easily by using their expertise and training that they just take for granted, that their clients need it, they want it, and yet it's not being provided, it's not being spoken about. So I see this group as a bridge to get both the client and the respective CA really on the same side of the river, shall we say, and talking the same language. It'll be great for the profession. It'll be great for the profession, it'll be great for the business owners, and it's just something that I have to be part of.